episode 7 D, and welcome into the Bench is Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the first place San Francisco Giants, who unfortunately went a 2-3 last week.
And I'm Tyler Cohen. Since our last recording, the Dodgers have gone a perfect 5-0, and they're coming.
Is that right?
Only 1.5 back.
Of
also
who?
Swept the 2-game series against the San Francisco Giants.
Who? Oh, so that means you're in first then. Damn, did I make a mistake? Are the Dodgers in first?
But as I've said
so they
many
won
times,
5 in a row and they're still not in first?
As I've said
That's
many times.
Insane. That team must be really good.
Give us a week. All we need is a week.
You said that every single fucking
All
week.
we need is a week. And the boys are coming. They're hot.
Oh, no. Gosh. Well, they're stealing our taglines. You're going to try to steal our spot. We'll see what happens, but we are going into the Diamondbacks next, so I guarantee you it's at least going to be another 2 weeks for something to happen.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm not even sure why I'm doing this podcast anymore. I'm probably going to start getting movie deals, solo records. The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time because obviously my third or fourth TV appearance on. It's just not a big deal at this point. It's just kind of like a normal thing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Solo record. It's coming. That's what's coming.
The best part is
baseball stuff.
If I wasn't having those car troubles, I would have been at the game with you.
Right.
And that would have been me. And then everything just would have been better. But unfortunately, it's just you on NBC Sports.
Like
an idiot.
Well, me and my dad. That was my dad. Yes. Faja.
I'm gonna be your dad soon, son. In 6 weeks, the Dodgers gonna be 6 games up. Is he really my dad?
Goodness. He's really my dad. Oh man. I know. I mean, solo record. We'll do at least one more of this pod before I get my huge movie deal.
Yeah, thank you.
But before we do that, let's talk about some baseball before we get into actual games. I'm thinking this might be my favorite segment. Players say what? And to set up what you're about to hear, Donaldson hits a home run off of Lucas Giolito, goes back to the dugout and is saying he's not sticky anymore. He ain't got no more stick. And this is what Lucas Giolito had to say about said instance, words being said.
He's a pest. That's kind of a classless move. If you're going to talk to my face, you can go, cross home plate and do all that. Just come to me. We won. The W's next to my name. They're in last place.
Yeah, wild shit. And I think the best part about, before we get into what Lucas Giolito is saying is, just like every good, diss record, there's a response record. And the response was, I think, even better. This is Josh Donaldson I guess when you hear this yesterday, responding to what Lucas Giolito had to say.
His numbers. What do the numbers say, right? And what do we know about the sticky substance? What does it do? What does it help with? It helps with RPMs. It helps with spin rate. Well, guess what? Mr. Giolito, your fastball spin rate's down 200. Your curveball spin rate's down 400 or 500. Your slider's down 200. So, look, if we're going to talk about class, what side are you going to choose? Are you going to take the side of someone who's playing the game fair? Or are you going to take the side of somebody that was probably cheating before this happened? He said that he thought it was annoying. I said, so what? I'm on the opposing team. What do you care about me? I said, I'm in your face. I'm telling you what I think. What do you got to say about that? And he didn't have any response. He didn't have really much to say.
So, yeah. Gosh, I mean, I love a good shit talk, but I love that Josh Donaldson went and talked to him face to face and was kind of like, "Was good." There's so many emotions going through my head right now, just being a fan of trash talk, and I got to hear what you're thinking right now, Tyler. I'm just psyched out of my mind right now.
After the game, Giolito has him. He has him. Right. W is next to my name in the win column. We got the W, and oh yeah, you guys are in last place by a substantial margin. You're not even on the fucking radar of the White Sox, so it's not
Claim
even
to
close.
Be a player, but I fucked your wife. Yeah.
That's he went fucking Tupac on it. He hit him up right there. He hit him up
for sure.
You Zoomers probably won't get the reference, but anyways, then Donaldson comes out today or yesterday, and he hit him up back real hard.
Yeah. Oh, he no Vaselined him. That's I think that's the next good district. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's one for me.
Donaldson guts him. He meets him face to face in the parking lot and basically says he didn't have shit to say. When I was up in his face, he didn't say shit. So, I mean, Donaldson wins. And furthermore, this is the kind of stuff that's good for baseball. This is the kind of shit that gets me jacked up. Like dudes talking real shit, real emotion, and now it's not even on the field. I mean, come on. How can you not like that shit? And then Donaldson calling him out, you know, your fastball's down 200 RPM. Your curveball's down 400 RPM. I mean, that's just good shit. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's nothing you could really say to that. I mean, obviously, he used his one, you're in last place, the W's by my name. He shot that shot. I'm not sure where you could go from there. Because I feel like it just
say scoreboard so many times.
Right. I mean, maybe that's the way he'll go. Or for one, I love the shit talk that goes on in the NBA. How I don't want to say personal, but just how they go after each other. And I feel like baseball's starting to adopt it. Some guys still get a little upset when they say, you know, certain things. But I mean, any NBA game, you got freaking Luka Doncic telling Patrick Beverly he's too fucking small every single time he goes up in the lane.
Yeah.
Like oh my gosh, I would love that after a strikeout or a 3-run blast. Oh gosh. You know, so yeah, I'm here for it.
Basketball has the best shit talking. If you've ever seen the Fab Five 30 for 30, the shit Jalen Rose used to do when he played for Michigan, like find out your girlfriend's name, find out your mom's name. And this is early 90s. I mean, this is before internet. Like shit
so it's
on the
that
court,
had to be
you're like,
hey, private investigator.
Yeah, Crystal called me last night. Like that would probably get under your skin.
Right.
But that's good, clean shit talking. But let's not forget, Josh Donaldson was talking some mad shit about Garrett Cole before he faced Garrett Cole, and that didn't work out for him so well. It's a lot easier to talk shit once you hit a home run. So I'm kind of iffy with Josh Donaldson because who knows if he didn't talk shit about Giolito, if he talked shit about him before and he doesn't hit a home run, well then he looks like a fucking idiot. So, but I'm all for it. Let's just keep the shit talk rolling.
Yeah, I hope it intensifies. I hope Lucas Giolito comes out with a diss track, goes full Lonzo Ball, and
I hope he hits him next time he's out there, because Josh Donaldson is not one to take that
shy
shit
away
lightly.
From nothing. I mean, dude.
Manny Machado threw that bat at him when he was playing third for the A's that one time, and that caused the whole thing. Like, let's see more of that. Like, I love it.
Yes, dude. That's the thing with Josh Donaldson, because there's been a couple times where I've been like, bro, calm down. Like when Joe Musgrove hit him and he was like, what the fuck you looking at, bitch? And like was just trying to like pick a fight with him. Like it was like, come on, bro. Like you're being ridiculous. But this is just 100%. I love it. I mean, and whose side do you pick? I mean, the White Sox are in first. Lucas Giolito is, you know, having a great season. Or Josh Donaldson imposes the question of, are you going to be on the side of the guy who was cheating or the guy who's been playing clean? So that's a good point. I don't know. I'm at this moment, I'm giving Josh Donaldson the W. And
my
see where
side
it goes
is
from there.
anything that keeps this rolling and intensifies it. Anything in baseball that goes viral, shit like this, it's only good for the game, as far as I'm concerned. So
Right.
hopefully more people start doing it. I love it.
Yeah, that's. I don't think there's much to say about that besides I love it. Let's get into some actual games though. The Giants started off very well. They took the series from the A's, had a solid game in game one, a nail biting, I don't know, intensifying game two. Coming back, Steven Duggar just being the man, Kirk Casale starting to get it rolling. You forget even who the starting pitchers were that game. You know what I'm saying? But they shoved, and fuck, dude, I couldn't have gone higher into this. I mean, yeah, game three was kind of like a Sunday. We're still celebrating from Saturday. Didn't show up until showed a little bit of life in the ninth inning.
Good excuse. Good excuse.
Right. But I was like, dude, 1-2 versus you're my 1-2 for the Dodgers series. I was really excited, but yeah, disappointing. At the end, I know we're going to talk about that in a second, but yeah, A series fire. Because apparently the Pretenders don't beat good teams, so I don't know if that means the A's are shitty or you're just full of shit. But you can eat shit, a big bag of shit.
Big bag of shit. Yeah. Man, Friday when we recorded the podcast, we recorded it before the game.
Right.
I was pretty low. I was feeling pretty shitty because that combined no-hitter was really bad. The team looked like shit, and I really thought that they were going to pack it in for the rest of the series. I really thought that they weren't going to show up. And boy, was I wrong, because they showed up and they scored some runs. My boy, Zach McKinstry, hitting that first grand slam. Fucking sick. Belly home run. He's back. Everything's just kind of clicking. After that no-hitter, they showed up, and I was very worried that they weren't going to show up. I thought they were going to be shut down. They were going to feel defeated because that's how they fucking looked on Thursday. But the bats woke up, which, it's important to win those games in the series. But the big thing was they were getting hot at the right time coming in to the series versus the San Francisco Pretenders.
Mm.
I don't think the Giants
are
pretending
in first place, but that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think they're pretenders. I just want to say that.
No, I love that tagline. I'm using it. If we were making shirts, I'd have pretender shirts out yesterday.
Well, we're not. But going into that little baby 2-game series, I said it last week. In my opinion, those 2 games were must wins. And I mean, because that's a 4-game swing. If the Dodgers lose both games, they're 5.5 back. And not that that's, an insurmountable amount of games to come back from before the All-Star break, but that's a pretty wide margin. So cutting that deficit to only 1.5, that's huge. So they won those 2 must wins. We're going to talk about it right now. Yeah, and they were close games. They weren't blowouts by any means. I mean, the first game felt, I guess a little, I don't know. It was exciting, and then it kind of just leveled off. Solo home runs across the board. It was a close one, but I don't know. I'm curious to how it feels to be on the losing end over there.
Right.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
I think you've gotten a lot of that this year. I mean, just rewind about a week and you crying in the corner. Contemplating what you're doing with your life. So
I'm not crying in the corner. I cry up front in front of the camera for everyone to see. I'm not ashamed.
I'm an innovator, damn it.
Yeah.
My takeaway is that obviously you look from being swept, it's never good. But in no way am I panicking, thinking that, believing what anyone's saying about being the Giants not being for real. Like we said, both games were close. Angel Hernandez's strike zone was fucking ridiculous. And scorecard did show it being lopsided, by the way. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Bauer saw that he was giving about a foot off the plate, so he took advantage, and Disco just wasn't doing that, which is obviously not the Dodgers' fault. It's something that the Disco should have took advantage of, and he didn't do. But it's still a fact. I mean, I think that's the only takeaway you can go from game one. It was winnable. There was, I mean, gosh, 10 hits. I mean, I think they had like 19 runners in scoring position. It's like a streak going right now. So so basically they were a bloop hit away from this being a split. Just didn't fall that in the Giants' way. It kind of happens. And then in game two, my thought is we got beat by a Chris Taylor bloop. Chris Taylor beating the shift. Which is not saying, oh, it's a fake win or whatever, but it's just saying like, that's baseball. That's what it's not like we got our ass. It's not they got their asses kicked.
Hold on.
And
Hold
what's
on.
that?
Please
say that ball was hard hit. Please don't tell me that ball was hit hard.
Future All-Star Chris Taylor.
Whose spot is he taking? This is one thing I don't understand.
He's not going to be a starter. He's not going to be a starter.
In what world is he going to be? An outfield all-star or an infield?
You can put him
all-star?
wherever you want. He's going to be a reserve. He can take any position.
God.
You don't think
Please continue.
Who do you think deserves to be on there? Mike Yastrzemski, who's batting what, like 220?
No, that's why I can't give you someone that's over him unless you give me the position, because he's not going to play multiple positions in the All-Star game. So you have to give him either an outfield spot, which there's probably
second base.
10. Second base. That would probably be his biggest opening. I would have to look over the number because I was expecting
a bunch of people are voting for Gavin Lux at second base. He does not deserve to be on the All-Star team.
Right.
This is now we're just going into a whole nother issue.
That's fine. Let's get into it.
Let's save it. Let's finish the series between the Giants and Dodgers,
and then we can talk about
All-Star because I have a lot of things to say about it.
Okay. One thing that I did want to say about Game 2, because I was there, and ate the worst fucking food of my entire life.
You're such a fucking baby.
It was so trash, dude. The bread was so like they were like, instead of being like, oh, we got all this bread for the 2020 season, we can't use it. Let's throw it away. They were like, nah, bro, just freeze it. And then I don't know what the fuck.
Any adult knows Dodger dogs are trash.
No, I've had adult Dodger dogs my entire life. This is like the new Dodger dog, and it is the worst shit I've ever had in my life. I get like not just the taste of the hot dog, but I mean, I'm sure I got one that was left from 2 games ago. I'm sure if my sister got it for me. My sister just went to the wrong stand and got unlucky. But still, it was the worst thing in the world. One thing that is very important that I think needs to get addressed is the disrespect Dodger fans have for Kenley Jansen. It is overwhelmingly ridiculous that you have a top closer and he gives up a couple walks because it took him a little bit to find it, and it's not like, oh fuck, damn, or you're getting worried. And this is not just one guy shouting in the section that I was sitting in. This was collectively a bunch of people saying the same thing. Get him the fuck out of there. Oh my God, why is he still on the fucking roster? You mean a guy with the under 2? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Was said by multiple people in the section I was in.
Dude, I don't know. This is my problem with any fan base or just people who think they know sports in general. I'm sure you've experienced this. Like my fiance will talk to me all the time and be like, oh, you met this person. Well, they like sports, so you guys have that in common. I'm like, but do they? Because they don't, they can like it and that's fine. But there's a difference between liking and knowing something. Because those people don't know shit. If you're saying he shouldn't even be on the roster,
Right.
Go fuck yourself. Which leads me to my next point, and I'm just going to jump into it. We're breaking all sorts of rules today. My stud of the week was going to be Kenley Jansen, going back to back against the Giants, notching those saves, showing some emotion, which is something we rarely see out of Kenley.
Game one was completely dominant.
And Joe Kelly's looking good too.
Right.
So having that 1-2 punch like we wanted, that was the whole point of signing Joe Kelly, to have them go 1-2, and you can interchange with Blake Trinan, who despite not having the sticky stuff is looking pretty damn good.
Right.
Dude,
he went from untouchable, how the fuck do you even get a bloop single off this guy, to just a really good reliever.
Yeah. And that's great. Those kinds of guys deserve to be on the roster.
Yes.
That's unbelievable to me, because Kenley has looked good this entire season. He's had some hiccups, and as a fan, of course,
every
sometimes
closer,
you say
unless
things
you're
you don't
Eric
mean.
Gagne in 2003, like that's just the way it is.
You say things you don't mean, like get him the fuck out of there. But dude, he's looked elite this year.
Right. And I've heard that from
obviously
living in Southern California. You hear that multiple times that Kenley Jansen's this and that. They don't know why he's still the closer. He has to lose that position, and he hasn't lost it. He's still very good. I mean, is he as good as he was 3 years ago? Maybe not.
No, of course not.
But he's still a top closer in baseball. And I got to say, there's not ever been a time where I've seen Kenley Jansen come out of the bullpen, even last year or the year before, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. Right. You know what I'm saying? When Joe Blanton was spot starting for you guys, what was that, in 2013 and 12? He was my favorite Dodger of all time. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, just stop talking. I mean, I was getting in arguments with nerds on TikTok, Padre fans, saying how the Giants were favorites in all World Series. They were literally non-favorites in every single World Series they were in.
Yeah,
none
remember
of them. They were favorites.
A wild card team. Wild card teams aren't favorites.
No, and they did play a wild card team in 2014, and I think that was a little bit more even. A lot of people had Kansas City winning that World Series because of how good their bullpen was.
It doesn't matter.
But in 2012, this guy, I was getting so upset. I was like, I feel like this guy is just trolling me. Maybe he was just trolling me. But he was like, oh, the Giants were heavy favorites in 2012. That's why they swept. I was like, oh my God. Dude, the Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer Tigers of 2000 are against Barry Zito.
Just wait until Fernando Tatis goes through his sophomore slump next year, because then you're going to have the Padre fans in the stands, get this fucking guy off the roster. Like, we'll eat $340 million. He's hitting 230. Like, I don't know anything about baseball. Like, Tony Gwynn? Who's Tony Gwynn? I don't know. Yeah. Fuck Padre fans. No more fuck you of the week. It's fuck you of the rest of eternity.
We could jump ahead to that because we're already on the subject. The fuck you of the week was just Padres Twitter/TikTok in general. Fuck those guys and ladies. You can quote me on that.
Also, I want to throw another thing into the ring. A fuck you of the week going to you, Jesse.
Me?
Because I understand complaining about the Dodger dog. I understand they're not good. But you go down in points when you're a child and you put ketchup on a hot dog. You know who does that? 6-year-olds. Because they don't have a refined palate.
Okay, mustard
and onions only.
I don't fuck with mustard, first of all. If there was grilled onion, yeah, come fuck with me, Poppy. But that's not happening at Dodger Stadium. So I would have asked for relish because I do like relish. But my sister was getting it for me, so I was kind of like, just give me a hot dog, just give me a ketchup packet, and was trying to be in that guy.
Give me a junior Dodger dog. It's for ages 6 and under. I'll take one of those, please.
I think you're thinking of Mega Winnie Hump Monday.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. I was also about to post a video because I mean. Best rivalry in sports, right? Even said by Gabe Kapler, who obviously listens to the podcast because that's probably where he thought it from. He said it on KMBR yesterday. very close game. Both teams are very good. First and second place, 3-1 ball game, and you're doing the wave. What the fuck?
Here's the thing.
Get outta
There's
here.
so many people on our timeline
Get the fuck out of here.
that are like, end the wave, end the wave. I back that so much. I fucking hate the wave.
Right.
Yeah, like, I was explaining it to my
Ooh.
sister, who I took to the game, who hadn't been to a game in a long time, because she is getting a kick out of it and whatever. Because there are guys, just like they've always done, running down the pavilion, and I just like keep like, sit the fuck down. Because they're like screaming like, on the count of 3, and I'm like, no one cares about you. We're trying to watch a fucking baseball game. Like, you're not the sideshow. Just leave it the fuck alone. Some of us actually like baseball.
Yeah, when you're a 5-year-old and you're trying to do the wave or hit the beach ball, get it. 100% get it. Other than that, yeah, one guy got mad at me because I was tweeting during the game. He said, stop tweeting and making a video of my hot dog because I should be watching the game. Like, in between pitches and in between innings. So I wasn't going to go that route. I just said, all right, Dad.
Yeah, fake fan. You're a fake fan. Phony.
This guy's a phony.
A big fat phony.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to say about for fuck you of the week. I really wanted to bring up I can't believe the 2012 remark that just blew me out of the water. I was like, I feel like I can't even reply to this guy. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And he was accusing me of just Googling shit. But gosh, that got me in my feels. Maybe I am a little bitch.
I was gonna say, you seem very upset. That random Twitter person really got you, huh?
Runs in my fucking head, dude. Yeah, I mean, I guess you hit your stud. You want to just finish with your dud, and then I'll just pick up from there.
I've been sowing my feelings. I don't even have a dud. I have to like go back and take a look. I'm not even thinking AJ Pollock, probably. I don't know. I don't really have one. I really have not looked at anything. I haven't poured over the box scores, and I don't really remember.
Big facts. Okay. Yeah. I'm into that.
I'll be honest.
I don't rightly know, sir.
When we're playing the Giants and it's just the emotion is just win and I'm happy.
Right.
I don't really have.
Sometimes it's kind of funny, like when you feel like a guy is failing and you look at his average and he's in the 260s, 270s, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. But then like you love a guy and you look at his average and it's like 212, but his hits are just like big hits. Like it's just the remembrance of things.
Yeah, I'll hit you with a dud. Mike Tauchman. Bad routes aren't spectacular catches, okay? Let's make
First
that
of all, it wasn't a bad route.
He was turned around.
He had to go a long way.
He had to turn around. He had to turn around. That means you don't have the route from the jump. Bad route.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was expecting Walker Buehler to hit that ball. So, yeah. So, you leave Mike Tauchman alone because I'm leaving him alone. I'm not putting as my dud this week. Stud and dud of the week, Giants side. I at first was thinking Austin Slater. But I'm not going to do that because dude has only started 4 games in the last 30 days. I feel that's unfair. It's ridiculous what they're doing to him. Honestly, I feel like it's better if they send him down for a little bit just to kind of get his feet under him and bring him back up. Because it's just unfair out there. I mean, how can you just get one plate appearance, every day and then start 4 games out of in 30 days and expect to be productive? I think that's ridiculous. And I guess it's not really anybody's fault because, they're not playing a lot of lefties. There was a stretch of not a lot of lefties, but at some point you got to, I don't know, at least get him one start in there to see what's going on. But I am going to give it to Darren Ruff. Because everyone else has been doing actually pretty solid. I mean, like I said, guys are getting hits, just they're not cashing in on them. So Darren Ruff does not have a good average. He's hitting 181 this week, but his on base percentage is 356. So he's walking a lot. But he did leave a lot of runners in base. So I'm gonna have to give it to Ruff. Ruff, just the way your mother likes it, Trebek. Unfortunately. And yeah, that's my dud. Going to my stud, I wanted it to be Steven Duggar as much as possible, just because he's the hottest guy in baseball. And anytime we can talk about Steven Duggar, I love talking about Steven Duggar. But I have to. I must. The numbers are jumping off the page for Lamont motherfucking Wade. Yeah, I mean, dude's hitting 286, got a 375 on base percentage, got really close to a 1.1 OPS. It's like 1.089, and has a couple bombs. So yeah, Lamont Wade, love him.
Yeah.
He basically said, "Bitch, you ain't sending me back down."
Very lopsided trade. The Lamont Wade.
And I hate to say that because I love Sean Anderson, dude. And it sucks to see that he's struggled and he got released and whatever. And I hope he does well. But yeah, I mean, that's lopsided trades is just Farhan's MO. It is what it is, baby.
Mm-hmm. What are you, a fucking SoundCloud rapper now? One thing that just popped into my mind that I did want to get into in Fuck You of the Week, because like we're doing today, we're breaking all the rules. We're going from this segment to that segment. We don't give a fuck. There was a little Instagram story that came out about Brandon Crawford's wife and daughter at the game, and Dodger fans making the young girl look very upset, saying her dad sucked and whatever. Here's the thing. I don't know if they were saying it to her, like to his wife, to the kid, like, your dad sucks, your husband sucks, like, fuck your husband. That shit's not cool. That's not okay.
100%.
But if I'm at a game, I don't know what Brandon Crawford's wife looks like. And I know Brandon Crawford certainly doesn't suck this season, but of course I'm still going to say it. Like, 100%. There's no intention to, like, I really want to upset his family. So if that was the situation, I mean, that's just fair game. That it is what it is. But if they knew, and this goes to anyone, for players' family members, you're a real piece of shit. Especially if there's a child. They don't understand, like, oh, my daddy's a famous athlete and this is just like how it goes. Like, so I don't know what the context was. I never really got confirmation there.
Yes, it was nothing was officially released. They said, in her opinion, lines were crossed, that they were going after a specific player. She didn't say exactly what was said. So we can't officially take a stance and say overblown, and we can't officially take a stance and say that was fucked up. Don't be a piece of shit. So not really confirmed, but I 100% agree with you. I was even talking to our homegirl, Randy Ratcliffe, about, why she was upset that that Dodger fans were booing Bryce Harper. And it's like, he's a guy on the other team. Like, he's their best player. You boo the other team. I mean, Buster Posey gets booed mercilessly at Dodger Stadium because he's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like, that's almost, I mean, in a way that's like, I'm not booing Joe Blanton when he's one of the worst Dodgers of all time,
because they don't boo nobodies, and Joe Blanton was a nobody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like, I just don't understand, like, being offended about booing. Yes, if you're like, hey,
like, Bryce Harper, you're a piece of shit.
Bryce Harper, you're
yourself.
Yeah, fuck you, and I hope you this and that, you piece of shit. Like, yes, that's crossing the line. You're an idiot. But if you're heckling in a good light and you're booing, like, Bryce Harper, I hope you stub your toe, like, and it hurts really bad for like 3 minutes. I don't think that's a big deal. But you don't
go on the IL, like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so, just like, fun. That's fun ribbon,
Yes. So yes and no. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just common fucking sense. You can boo and you should boo. It's fun. It's part of the game. Don't go after people personally. Say you're gonna, murder their dog. Maybe don't say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Just do what Astro fans do to us and call us fat and say we have high cholesterol. And I live in my parents' basement which in Southern California, we don't even have basements. So try again, motherfuckers. Good luck.
That's hilarious because I mean, technically, I mean, you can't really see that much in your background, but it could be your mother's basement. I mean, who knows what's going on in there?
Oh shit, I'm poor. You're right.
Yeah, there one other thing that was kind of crazy about the Padres Twitter. Somebody came up, I retweeted it and kind of and showed what was going on, just how full of excuses they are. We're hurt. Oh, you're not playing good teams. And now the newest excuse, obviously the Giants are cheating. They were showing the jump in numbers from Brandon Crawford's last year to this year, Buster Posey's 2019 to this year, Kevin Gosman's running in Cincinnati and now. Just because they're doing better doesn't mean they're cheating. I just didn't realize that had to be said. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Well, this is a nice segue into the All-Star segment here, because Padre jackasses have banded together to vote for Freddie Freeman at first base to ensure that Max Muncy doesn't get the starting job, which Max Muncy is going to be an all. Yeah, their Padres Twitter is all about it. They're banding together. Wow. They're getting Freddie Freeman, which is just dumb because on every All-Star ballot, you know who's been my National League starting shortstop? Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Because he deserves it. And you know who's been my starting catcher?
Yeah.
Buster Posey.
Right.
Because he deserves it.
Right.
So this idea
when it comes to voting for All-Star, I don't mind voting. Like I won't have a Dodger on my Beat the Streak or my fantasy team, but when it comes to All-Stars, I'll vote who's deserving.
Yeah, because that's the way it should be. But now they're fucking things up. They're fucking the game up. So Padre fans suck. But also, dude, just the fan voting, they get it wrong so much.
Right. Like I can't believe Brandon Crawford's third. Yeah. Cedric Mullins, oh my gosh.
He's like, I think Cedric Mullins is like fifth. That's ridiculous. The dude is having
Mike Trout's been out for what?
Yeah, months? Exactly. Byron Buxton's hurt again. And they're the top two in the AL All-Stars.
Like, come on, bro.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, I get it because you can vote them in. They get the accolade. They get to say they were an All-Star this year. They're obviously not going to play. So if Cedric Mullins is fifth, he'll slot in as a starter because Buxton and Trout probably won't be back. Trout for sure won't be back. But it's just stupid.
Right.
I just don't get it. And like the Dodger fans, I've been seeing like, vote Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux doesn't deserve to be an All-Star.
Right.
He doesn't deserve it. Justin Turner, I think deserves to be an All-Star. I think Max Muncy, and I think Chris Taylor deserves to be on the roster, not a starter, but on the roster.
Right.
But like this Homer bullshit mentality, man, it's
yeah. You can't vote for pitchers, but Gosman should be in there. He should be starting if it wasn't for Jacob deGrom just being like, I don't even know what to call Jacob deGrom. Like it's just
otherworldly.
It's not even fair at this point. But I mean, here's my only thing with the shortstop thing, right? Because Fernando Tatis's offensive numbers off the charts, way better than Brandon Crawford's. But league leading in errors, at what point do we say that defense is a little bit of the equation?
He's still he's still a better player than Brandon Crawford.
Oh yeah. And
he's having a better season. But yeah, I mean I agree.
I mean, yes, at the plate, yes, hands down. But I mean, Brandon Crawford's, his elite defense plus how good he is at, I don't think we're there yet, but what I'm saying is I think maybe I'm just hating on Tatis a little bit too, just because he's a Padre, because I'm so annoyed at Padres people. So, but yes, I think it needs to be at least talked about how ridiculous his amount of errors and a premium position is.
Yeah. And I think we can all agree that no Astros deserve to be on the All-Star team. I don't care if they're not cheating, how good of a year they're having. That's where I draw the line. So
yeah, Carlos Correa will probably be in.
Future Giant, Carlos Correa.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're gonna keep Brandon Crawford for 2 more years, then it's Marco Luciano time, and then there's no more talk about the Padres at all because it's just going to be the Powerhouse Giants.
As always, this episode is brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where you can get 2 free candles with any order. Just use promo code FREESUMMER at checkout. Get yourself
pick number 3, my lord. Suns in 6. That's exactly what was said. Congratulations to the Suns.
Yeah, I thought it was Suns in 4. Suns in 4, baby.
He was right for 2 series, I think.
That guy has to make new T-shirts now. He's
spent
too much money on the Suns in 4 shirts.
Yeah, then he's gonna have to do but I feel like the 6 is gonna have to be still on one hand. That'd be funnier. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform. On YouTube. Hit that subscribe, hit that notifications, help us grow. Leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Follow us, Benches Cleared P on Twitter, Benches Cleared Podcast on Instagram, and Benches Cleared on TikTok. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Dodgers are coming. They're hot.